Hello everyone, here's Asha Bilgi. Having spent almost 2 decades in IELTS training coaching, here's a video which I would like to show you and how I get along my course. Let's begin.
Today I'm going to tell you about IELTS. What do you mean by IELTS? IELTS is International English Language Testing System. It is conducted by three bodies, that is British Council, IDP, and Cambridge. Here there are four modules which here there are four modules, basically LRW and uh, speaking. So all these are scored out of 9 bands. For student visa, a student is supposed to score anything between 6.5 to 7.5 to get into a good college or university in Canada, USA, abroad. The listening part consists of 40 questions. The time limit for this is 30 minutes. So we are going to basically talk here about the first week of your IELTS course, what you're gonna do in the first week of your IELTS course. So if we have a lecture of 1 hour, it is divided into 30 minutes of listening, 30 minutes of reading. The next hour will be a practice session in which you will be practicing what you have already been taught in the first 30 minutes. That is, if the listening is explained in the first 30 minutes, followed by reading, then your practice session would be practicing what you have learned in the first 30 minutes. And likewise, doing the same thing for the reading, that is practicing whatever you have learned in the first 30 minutes. Here, the listening is a kind of a pre-recorded conversation between one person, two persons, or three people. Sometimes there are three people. At the most, there will be four people. So the person has to listen to the conversation, carefully read the question, and simultaneously keep on writing the answers. There is a keyboard, and the student is supposed to type out the answers if it is a computerized IELTS test. If it is a paper pencil test, then he has to really write it on the sheet first. At the end of the listening test, 10 minutes are given to transfer these answers onto the main answer sheet. So that is a big difference between the paper pencil test and the computerized IELTS test. The first section is kind of short questions, like based on the conversation. So the first 20 questions are called repeat. What are you repeating here? You are repeating whatever is asked to you as the question. For example, what is your name? And then the person is answering, my name is Sue. So you have a fill in the blank in your sheet which says name, and then there's a blank. So you are going to write SUE, Sue, like this. Then she says, what is your address? So she says 41 Fountain Road. So then you have to write the address, and there is a fill in the blank, and you write the address, something like this, 41 Fountain Road. Okay. So so that is how the listening will progress. Like whatever you're hearing, you are going to repeat. Whatever you're hearing, spellings are going to be repeated. Whatever you're hearing in the MCQs have to be chosen by the candidate. and there is a choice, there is a box in which you'll write your choice. Whatever is the answer in the flow chart, sometimes there is a flow chart, so again there are blanks in those flow charts. The heading of that particular table would be given, and following the table and listening to the conversation, you can easily write down whatever you have heard. For example, it's the person whose conversation you're listening has gone to a shop or a mall, and he sees things and he is describing it. So there is a box or a flowchart kind of thing which says display. So in the display, what comes first, what comes second, what comes third. So listening to the conversation, and you have to fill up the flow chart. You have to mind that the spellings should be correct. There should be no plural mistakes or mistakes in the numerals. For example, it's 41. If it is 41 and you didn't write the 1, then you will, if you have written 4 in a hurry and forgotten the 1, you may not get any mark for that answer. If you're writing roads instead of road, the answer is road, 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 and you have written roads by mistake. So you're not gonna get answer. You're not gonna get any mark for this answer. So it goes like this. Then there are also multiple choice questions, like multiple choice questions. You're hearing a conversation on orientation which is given to the students whose first day in the college is taken care of by a lady. She just takes the students on a round. So there is a radio voice which is announcing her arrival, and then she takes them around the faculty and she says it's a orientation lecture which they have to attend weekly. The days of the week would be mentioned in that. So then the purpose of the orientation lecture is 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. So whatever is, you have heard it, and what she says, there are two answers which are 100% not going to be the answer, because they are opposite answers or they are something which is not in the scope of the conversation. So when you look at those MCQs, you will easily come to know that these two are not mentioned at all. So that is not the one. The another option would be opposite kind of answer, de-orientation lecture, something like that. So we are talking of orientation, we are not talking of de-orientation. So obviously that you have to cross it out. So something like that. So actually speaking, this crash course entails all these explanation which will be given to the student question wise, going and dealing with each question and explaining each logic for the answer. So that will be done very meticulously. But at the student's end, they should not do the spelling mistakes, or they should not do the plural mistakes, or mistakes when they are writing the numerals. And if you're taking the paper pencil test, you have to write your answers in a very uh, dark, with a dark HB pencil. It should be very, very clear whatever you write, and it should be pressed, the pencil has to be pressed properly. That's it. So so I think I have told you everything about the listening. In the first week, we are dealing with the first 20 questions. Now I tell the students, if you're gonna score 20 out of 20 in the first 3 days, obviously you're going to make a 8 or 9 on your listening in the next days which follow in your course to come. So it will it will go very smoothly if you are paying attention in the first few days. Let's go to the reading now. When we are talking of the reading, a language has got 4 aspects, like, can you listen and understand? So that was the listening. Can you read and understand what is being read? or written in the as a part of an article or a newspaper edit? Yes, you're doing it. So are you able to answer the questions? The questions are designed to find out your understanding about what is the content of the passage which appears before you, and are you able to comprehend what is being said. So like I've read the whole passage on nanotechnology, but I'm not able to find out who is saying this. Is it a researcher? Is it a author? Is it a teacher? Or is it a lay person? I'm not able to find out. So then my understanding is not working the proper way, right? So this is how the reading will progress. The reading is basically designed to find out your understanding of written English. So again, the reading consists of 40 questions, and the time for this is 60 minutes, exactly double of what we did in the listening. So we are talking here of typically three kinds of questions. It is yes, no, not given kind of question. So when we are talking of yes, no, not given kind of question, yes, no, and not given. So if we are talking of yes, no, not given kind of question, there is it is grammar based. How it is grammar based, that I'll be explaining it to you. Another kind of question which a student finds it tough is the summary kind of question, and a third kind of question is the headings question. Headings question is typically talking about finding out titles. Okay. So here in the first week we are going and doing only the yes no not given kind of questions. How we go is the passage wise these questions will be dealt. We go question wise and we go for accuracy, not the speed. The first day we do only 5 questions and you will be able to solve this. And I tell the students, although it is the first day, try to make them all correct. Many students have got all their answers correct on the very first day. When we are talking of the writing questions here, we are talking of again a report of an essay, report of a graph. It would be a graph. It could be a line graph, a bar graph, a pie chart. There are two pie charts, and there are two pie charts here, and they discuss the consumption which is done by a particular school in a particular year, and you'll be writing the graph. So how to write the graph, what are the words, what is the vocabulary you're gonna use, what is the kind of flow you'll be using, what is the structure of this report, and how it is scored by an IELTS instructor, that will be completed in this writing part, only the first report. Coming to the speaking is how long does the writing take place in the exam. It is going to be of 2 questions, that is task 1 and task 2. So if we are talking of task 1 and task 2, then it is the first task is a report and the second one is a essay. How much time? Again, it is 60 minutes. Now, talking of the speaking, it is only 11 to 15 minutes. Here, there are three sections. The three sections are talking about introductory question, the cue card section, and the discussion questions. So, if we are doing all this in a proper way, we are obviously going to get our goal of 7 bands. 7 bands is like you're getting something like 20 28 or 29 out of 40. So that's how we'll be proceeding with the whole course. If you have any questions, you are most welcome.